We tend to carry, somewhere in us, a quiet conviction that things were once better, a summer that lasted longer, a city that felt more alive, a version of ourselves that was freer. We don't quite know when things changed. We just know they did. But what if the time you're missing never actually existed? Psychologists have a name for this. It's called rosy retrospection, a cognitive bias where we systematically forget the negative and neutral parts of past experiences, keeping only the highlights. Think about it. Your memory of that perfect holiday? You've edited out the airport delays, the sunburn, the argument on day 3. What remains is a highlight reel, and you've started to believe it's the whole film. We all do this. Studies show that people consistently rate the past as better than it was, not because they're wrong, but because that's how memory works. It's a reconstructive process. Every time you remember something, you rebuild it, and every rebuild is a little more flattering than the last. The word nostalgia itself has a surprisingly dark origin. In 1688, a Swiss medical student named Johannes Hofer was studying in Basel when he noticed something strange. Displaced soldiers, students, and servants who had left their homeland were wasting away, not from any visible illness, but from an inexplicable sadness. Hofer coined a new word for it: nostalgia. From the Greek nostos, meaning homecoming, and algos, meaning pain. For the next 3 centuries, nostalgia was a medical diagnosis, a potentially fatal disease. The symptoms were real: anxiety, insomnia, loss of appetite, cardiac palpitations, fever. The treatments were brutal: leeches, opium, purging. Swiss mercenaries serving abroad were threatened with severe punishment for singing, or even humming, certain alpine folk songs called Kuhreihen. The music triggered such intense homesickness that soldiers deserted, fell ill, or died. Even the philosopher Jean-Jacques Rousseau, one of the most influential thinkers of the Enlightenment, wrote that mercenaries who heard the melody dissolved in tears, deserted, or were left heartbroken. And it didn't end there. During the American Civil War, the Union Army recorded over 5,000 cases of nostalgia among its soldiers, resulting in at least 58 deaths. One soldier, Frederick Whipple of Vermont's 10th Infantry, died in a hospital bed, moaning, "I want to go home," until the end. For centuries, nostalgia was treated as something that could, and did, kill people. Then, in the early 2000s, everything changed. Konstantin Sedekidis, a researcher at the University of Southampton, began studying nostalgia not as a disease, but as a function. What he found, across dozens of peer-reviewed studies, flipped the entire field. Nostalgia isn't a disease. It's actually good for you. His research showed that nostalgia generates positive emotions and increases self-esteem. It fosters social connectedness. It makes you feel less alone. It strengthens what Sedekidis calls self-continuity, a golden thread that connects who you were to who you are now, creating a sense of coherent identity. And perhaps most remarkably, it buffers against existential anxiety and meaninglessness. These findings hold across cultures. We don't miss the past because it was better. We miss it because remembering it makes us feel whole. Of course, we're not always the ones choosing to feel nostalgic. Social media has industrialized it. Facebook's On This Day, Instagram's Memories, Spotify Wrapped. These are algorithms that surface your happiest moments and feed them back to you, amplifying rosy retrospection. You see a curated highlight reel of your own past, and the present feels a little duller by comparison. Advertising has always known this. Coca-Cola, Nintendo, Disney remakes. They sell us our own memories back, repackaged. The nostalgia economy is enormous because rosy retrospection is universal. But Sedekidis' research suggests something important. Personal nostalgia, used intentionally, is one of the healthiest things we do. The feeling isn't the problem. The problem is when we mistake the feeling for a fact, when we believe the past was actually better, rather than recognizing that the memory is doing something useful for us right now. The French novelist Marcel Proust spent 7 volumes and 3,000 pages exploring this exact question: why we long for what's gone. His answer was simple: the only true paradise is a paradise that we have lost. The time you keep returning to in your mind never existed quite as you remember it. But that's not a flaw in your memory. It's your mind telling you what matters most.